Shibuya Kaho has tweeted about it. I don't know if you guys remember her. She's the one that called out Miskiff when he was hanging from these sakura trees. So she tweets, devastating news for manga fan. It's now officially confirmed after 3 days of speculation going viral on X that this manga artist got ruled for doing horrendous things to his then underage student. What's worse, it looks like the major publisher, Shogakukan, kept the secret for 6 years. Even hired him under a different pen name as author for a new show. This mangaka, Shoichi Yamato, essayed a high schooler he taught part-time because this mangaka was also being a teacher in an art school. He made her eat feces and smeared them on her face too. Disgusting. She was 15 when it started. He got arrested in 2020 and his comic, Daten Sakuzen, stopped with little explanation. In the following year, his editor allegedly advised for the settlement, offering the victim 1.5 million yen, which is roughly $9,600. Basically nothing for everything that she's endured. To stay quiet, which of course they failed. In 2022, the artist was brought back as Hajime Ichiro to write a story for their new series. So the artist was brought back by that publishing group under another pen name to write more stories. And like that editor knew, right? Because he advised him to go for the settlement. As in there, it's the same editor. The publisher made a statement only in their app, Manga 1 so far, the exclusive platform for his work, but many already deleted the apps, included myself. Manga 1 apparently is a very big manga app. I think I have a lot of articles and stuff, but I don't want to like lose you guys. But there was a pretty good summary here on Reddit. So basically, mangaka Shoichi Yamato, previous author of Daiten Sakuzen up until recently, author of Jujin Kamen, was also at one point a teacher in an art high school during Daiten Sakuzen and was arrested for the abuse of his 15-year-old student. Apparently, in 2016, he used his manga as a pretext to approach her, saying he would show her or teach her about the manga. Yeah, bro, this is taking separating art from the artist way too far. They rehired him and they basically hid it. Like they knew this was cause a scandal because they made him write for them under another pen name. Like it's worse. And then sensitivity warning, this part is really deplorable, disgusting. Some of the most extreme things he did included smearing feces on her face or forcing her to eat it as punishment, writing stuff like slave, pet, teachers, and property on her body in permanent markers and taking pictures, forcing her to strip naked outdoors and have her wear toys in public with the writing on, possibly, having her send nudes or obscene images to him with her cell phone. It's ugh. Even after she graduated in March 2019, he continued to demand pictures and she claims it led to her developing severe PTSD and dissociative identity disorder. People are upset with Manga 1 because the news broke out that they rehired Yamamoto knowing this. They initially stopped Daiten Sakuzen with almost no explanation to the public when he got arrested. Allegedly, in 2021, an editor joined a group chat with the victim and Yamamoto, that editor that works at Shogakukan. They ran a group chat together, and he advised a settlement of around $9,600 USD dollars to keep things quiet. Then, in 2022, that editor brought Yamamoto back under the pen name Hajime Ichiro to write Jujin Kamen. On February 20, 2026, so 8 days ago, the Sapporo District Court ordered Yamamoto to pay 11 million yen, which is about 73,000 USD in damages. There's no mentions of like jail time though. A few hours ago, February 27, 2026, the Manga 1 editorial team finally broke their silence and announced that they suspected all distribution of Yamamoto's work and halted shipments of his printed volumes. They say he should not have been rehired and offered sincere apologies to the victim, the readers, and Eri Tsuruyoshi, the artist who was working on Jujin Kamen, which is getting cancelled, with Yamamoto. Shogakukan claims that there were failures in vetting and hiring. Well, you don't say. The editorial team claims they had no organizational intent to be involved in the settlement and that the editor only joined the chat to advise them to appoint lawyers. Like, fuck, dude. There's like an article on it. I wonder if they mentioned jail time. Damages totaling 20 million yen. Yeah, she's in her 20s now. Yeah, there's no like jail time mention. Presiding Judge Moriyama Osamu criticized the teacher, saying the man was older than the student in the teacher relationship. The teacher took advantage of the student's immature judgment and made him respond to his sexual desires. The plaintiff was a woman who was a student at the Hokkaido Arts High School Sapporo Satellite Campus, a correspondence course run by Kyokan Gakuen, and filed the lawsuit in 2022. According to the ruling, the woman took the man's classes, and during her first year, he groped her in a car. She was then forced to engage in sexual act at the hotels and other places. Ew. Frequently before graduating, developed PTSD after graduation. The man maintained that they were in a serious relationship and denied any casual relationship between the sexual acts and his PTSD. And her PTSD. The pronouns are inversed in the translation. The ruling stated it is recognized that the sexual acts cause PTSD and that they could cause physical and mental harm. Well, you don't say. The ruling also found that the relationship to be illegal, stating while the decision to engage in sexual act is a woman's responsibility and free decision, she was a minor at the time, cannot be said to have had sufficient capacity to make decisions. On the other hand, the company denied the corporation liability as an employer, stating that the man's illegal acts were committed at a time and place unrelated to the classes and are not closely related to the corporation's business. At a press conference, the woman said, "I want all teachers to understand that it's wrong to lay hand on someone. I wanted a sincere apology." Her attorney said the mental damage that will continue to the future was assessed and reiterated his criticism, saying, although employer's liability was not recognized, the school had not given any guidance to the teacher who committed the crime. Do they mean, by guidance, do they mean like punishment? Like sanction? The man's attorney indicated his intention to appeal, saying the court appears to have a different impression from the evidence we submitted. We would like to seek a new ruling. So they want to appeal that. That's a horrifying crime. But following this, a lot of very popular mangakas are speaking up. The situation is blowing up right now because Shogakukan is a very popular publishing group. They publish like big titles. Like they've been around since like the 70s. You know, they have Inuyasha, Freer, and Pokemon series, a bunch of things. The One Punch Man author even made a statement. And also the author of Mob Psycho 100. Mob Psycho 100 was published by Shogakukan, so I think that's why he's making this statement. He's saying, Manga 1. I can't team up with people who can't clearly state their strong condemnation of sexual harm against minors. That's a given. Waiting for the disclosure of circumstances by the relevant parties, I also want Shogakukan to support them if they take that action. A lot of mangakas are also removing their works from the Manga 1 app. Apparently even the artist for the series, like the PDF guy, was working with. Because, you know, he was a writer, but he was paired up with an illustrator. He didn't know about it either, apparently. And then there's also another mangaka. I don't know this manga. It's called After God. Inosumi says she's putting her series on hold and calling out editors at Manga 1, Shogakukan, who covered up the crimes of Kazuaki Kurita, who sexually groomed and raped a 15-year-old girl and multiple other school kids for years. I don't know, I couldn't confirm the multiple other school kids part. This is another article I was supposed to look at, but I haven't had the time to go over it yet. On the afternoon of February 25th, 2026, I informed Editor-in-Chief Hoshino through my editor, Mr. Toyoda, that if the people who tried to cover up Mr. Kurita's crime continue to be involved with Manga 1, it will be impossible to continue the series. So it's been going on for 15 years. Victim 15 enrolled. Kurita contacted the victim, who was 15-year-old at the time, under the pretext of talking about his work. For the next 3 years, he committed crimes once or twice a month. Ugh. This is the author of Witch Hat Atelier. They write, above all, I sincerely hope that the physical and emotional pain of the victim can be alleviated even a little, and that a sincere response is made to their demands. Additionally, I wish for appropriate compensation to be provided to the illustrator who suffered disadvantage as a result of being caught up in secondary harm. So they're talking about the illustrator that was paired with the PDF file, working on a manga with him, not knowing he's that guy. And to the manga creators who voluntarily withdrew their work from distribution. And she's QRTing the Manga 1 statement. explanation apology regarding the suspension of ordinary person mask distribution. The victim, what did the victim say? Well, she made her statement in court. This is following the court order. So they couldn't keep it secret anymore once that came through. Also, the One Punch Man manga author made another follow-up statement. One, he said, saying it's a given was my personal opinion. If my statement has caused any stress to the writers who are currently serializing their work, so like, you know, he doesn't want to cause stress to the people that are staying on manga one. I am truly sorry. I believe that conformity pressure should never exist. I don't think there's any reason for unrelated individual writers to be asked for their opinions. Because now I guess he's trying to calm down the cancel mob to go after like other writers and to ask them their opinion on this. And are you going to remove your work from that place? Maybe they really need to stay on manga one for XYZ reason, but he certainly doesn't want to have anything to do with that. Also, they're like, the publishing company said that they're going to start like an investigation, but they're basically gonna investigate themselves. They're doing the thing where they're investigating themselves to see if there was any wrongdoing. And when has those kind of investigation ever panned out? Yeah, it could be that they're very tight on money or caught in an ironclad contract. It could be many reasons. Yeah, like Niji, like Blizzard, like so many others. We have investigated ourselves and found no signs of wrongdoing. This is a massive scandal. And I'm sure there's gonna be more manga artists speaking out like over the day. Hey, you! Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button. And I'll see you in the next video.